not fluent. Time is never fluent. Okay, let's talk about love. Okay, love. When we think of love, we think of what? The heart chakra, green, right? Also, what else is green? Money. Okay. But this is not about the love of money. This is a love of self, a love of self-worth. When you start loving yourself, you attract love. Okay. Now there will be people that will back to you from your past. Okay. Because they see that you're healed. Okay. And when you met that person, because we're mirroring souls, right? So we attract what we are. Okay. We attract what we are. So if you are at a place in your life where you don't love yourself, love yourself, I'm talking about love yourself unconditionally. Okay. Love the very essence of you. Okay. And you have parts of yourself that is not healed. Okay. You will attract unhealed people. Okay. You will attract people that are unhealed in certain areas in their life. Okay. Because you're unhealed. So what happens is we are all mirroring souls. Okay. So mirroring souls, we reflect, our soul reflects out there, and reflects back. Okay. So we're all mirroring souls, and we reflect, and we bring in the love that we want. Okay. So if you're out here and you're having relationships and there's no meaningful purpose of the relationship, and that's what you want, then hey, that's what you want. But when you want to attract real love, right? You have to love yourself. Okay. And you can't have relationships that are beneficial to yourself, okay, or to the other person, because when you don't truly heal, you can't attract love. But when you start to heal, you start attracting people where you're at. Okay. So if you are out here and you want love, okay, love is unconditional. Love is being honest. First thing about love is being honest. Okay. So if you're not honest with yourself, then you're not going to attract love. Okay. You have to be honest with yourself. Okay. Look yourself in the mirror. Okay. Ask yourself questions. Now, am I saying that the reason why you haven't found true love or is because you don't love yourself? Yes, I'm saying that. Okay. Because if you truly love yourself unconditionally, you will attract that kind of love. Okay. That unconditional love. Now, people from your past will come back into your life. Okay. I'm going to tell you my story. So my ex-husband, I haven't talked to him in a while. We left on good terms. I said, if I ever hurt you, I apologize. He's, if he ever hurt me, apologize, whatever. But when I seen him, I knew he was going to be my husband at the time. But make this story short, is I have healthy boundaries. Okay. So I can take my ex-husband back, be in a relationship with him. He even asked me to move in with him. Okay. If he's watching my channel, he's watching my channel. I don't care. The truth is the truth. Okay. And I said no. Okay. His mother wanted us to be together. And I told the mother, I don't think we can. Not that I don't think, I know we can't be together, because where I'm at spiritually is I fucking love myself. Okay. And I'm not accepting breadcrumbs out here. Okay. By any man. Okay. No breadcrumbs. Okay. So you ladies out here saying that you're strong and you could do things by yourself, that is bullshit. Okay. Because everybody needs somebody. Okay. And I'm not taking no damn breadcrumbs, and neither should you. Okay. So if you're in relationships now, I'm not saying you choose to be in relationships where men are beating you up or a woman's beating you up, because domestic violence goes both ways. Women beat up men and men beat up women. Okay. Or if you're attracting addicts in you and you're not a goddamn addict and they just come into your life. Okay. But when you're truly healed and you're truly loving yourself, okay, and knowing yourself, it's not even just about loving yourself, it's knowing yourself, okay? you will know what you're willing to accept and what you're not willing to accept, okay? And where I'm at in my life, I'm not willing to accept breadcrumbs, okay? A man that really loves you is going to be patient with you. He's going to be kind to you, and you're not going to be in this masculine energy all the time, like, oh, I can do this all by myself. A man does not want a woman that is in her masculine, okay? If that is the case, then he needs to go find a man, okay? He wants a woman that's in her feminine energy, okay? Where he can be the man. And what I mean by be the man is, I'm not saying the man is always supposed to lead, but with the kind of environment I grew up in, my father was a man, okay? He led, okay? And he was a manly man, okay? And it's hard to find manly men out here because a lot of men are too much in their feminine energy and the women are too much in their masculine. And I know a lot of black women, a lot of Hispanic women, a lot of indigenous women always say, "Oh, we're strong. We can do it all by ourselves." That's bullshit. That is programming, okay? That is programming, and that is fucking lying to yourself, okay? So love is a beautiful thing, you guys. Love is not confusing. Love is not chaos. I'm not saying love is perfect where it's going to be, you're going to be happy all the time, you're going to be fulfilled all the time, because you can't think about, okay, if I get this person in my life, they're going to fulfill my love for myself, okay? You have to fulfill your own love for yourself, okay? That person is not going to come in and fulfill that love for yourself that you should be pouring into yourself, but they are going to make you a better person, okay? They're going to truly love you, and love looks different to many different people, okay? So when you are truly loved and you know what love is, then you can give love, okay? Love looks different for many different people. And when people see you at a place where you are healing, you are evolving, and you know your self-worth, and you're not accepting breadcrumbs, and this can go for masculine and feminine. There's too many women in their masculine, and a real man is not going to want a woman in her masculine, okay? Are they going to want a strong woman? Yes. Somebody they can fall back on, somebody they can talk to, somebody that they can lean on when they're going through something, or not even when they're not even just when they're going through things, when they're not going through things, where they can have open and honest communication and be open and honest and real with you, and they're not hiding or pretending or faking, because you can get in a relationship with somebody and they can fake it till they make it, but you're eventually going to see the person for who they are, okay? I don't care who they are, okay? You're going to see the person for who they are, okay? So you have to decide, am I going to be in this relationship? Am I going to accept the bare minimum, okay? We're not accepting the bare minimum out here, okay? Nobody's accepting the bare minimum out here, okay? So what I'm talking about bare minimum is somebody that is not investing their time and energy into you, okay? That wants to play games and doesn't even know what they want, okay? There's a lot of people out here don't even know what they want. They say they want love, and then when they pray for it or they ask for the universe and they get it, they're not ready for it. Sometimes you have to be that period of waiting, okay? That period of knowing who you are, because if you do not know who you are, how can you accept anything from somebody else when you don't even know what you want, what your boundaries are, what is healthy for you, okay? Because what is healthy for you might not look healthy for somebody else, okay? So I'm at a point in my life where I'm not searching for love, because I know love, I love myself. So, and I know what I bring to the table, okay? And I know that I'm a woman, okay? I'm a divine feminine, okay? I bring the feminine energy, okay? And I feel like a lot of women are in their masculine too much, and they're like, oh, I can do it by myself. you don't want to be in that energy where you feel like you can do everything by yourself, because you're not going to bring in love. Okay, if you're out here thinking you could do everything by yourself, then shit, go do everything by yourself. Okay. But if you're out here and you're looking for love, I always say you can look for it, but also let it find you. Okay, because when it finds you is better than you looking for it. Okay, and you searching for it. And also know what to accept, because sometimes, like, say you might have a person that you see on the side, they are blocking you from meeting somebody that's truly going to love you. Okay, so you got to get real with yourself. You got to have these honest conversations with yourself, because that person you might see sometimes or go out to eat with, whatever, they could be blocking you from somebody truly coming in and truly loving you. Okay, so we're not accepting the bare minimum for my divine feminine and my divine masculines. We have a masculine side and we have a feminine side. All of us do. It's called the yin and yang. Some people call it the yin and yang. I call it the female and masculine. Okay, so there has to be a balance with your feminine energy and your masculine energy, and you have to truly know yourself, because even when you truly love yourself and you truly know yourself, you could, it's kind of hard to attract somebody in this, because people come in with false pretense. You might as well lay everything out right away. Okay, look, this is what I'm looking for. I'm not trying to be funny or nothing like this, but this is what I'm looking for. Okay, and I'm not saying that, not that you're trying to be boasty, but you know what you want. Okay, there's nothing wrong in knowing what you want. You got to know what you want out here. Okay, so you have to set your expectations, and I really want to say set expectations, realistic expectations. Okay. Set some realistic expectations out here, because some of y'all say your expectation is so damn high, like having this checklist. So what you can do is you can get a piece of paper and you can write down, okay, what is the quality in a man that I'm looking for. Okay, and this is the kind of man that I want to bring in my life, right? So write down all the qualities. Somebody that's a good communicator, somebody that's a good provider, somebody that knows their self, somebody that is not envy or jealous, somebody that is positive, somebody that is not a drug addict, somebody that has their own place, somebody that has their own car, somebody that loves their self, somebody that knows what they want in their life. Write this shit down. Okay, and then these are the things that you will accept. Okay, so then write down the things that I won't accept. Okay, the things I won't accept is somebody that's on drugs, somebody that doesn't love their self, somebody that I have to treat as my child. Okay, because you have children. You don't want to have a man that you have to that's like another child. Okay, what's the point of having a man if you got to treat him like your child? Okay, a real man is going to bring, a real man is going to present themselves and act like a real man. Okay, if you're looking for a woman is going to present herself and act, not act, but she is going to be who she is. So you can say, okay, so if you're a man and you want a woman in your life, write down the qualities that you're looking for in the woman. Okay, so you want a woman that's honest, a woman that won't cheat, a woman that is a good communicator, a woman that is not superficial, a woman that is authentic, a woman that doesn't, you can write, well, whatever you want the woman to be. Okay, so you can write down all the things, that the qualities that you want in a woman. Then you can write down all the qualities you don't want in a woman. Okay, so there is no perfect person out here, right? But you have to have standards. Okay, just like when you go order your food, you want your food cooked a certain way. Okay, or you won't eat the food. Okay, so y'all need to start setting your standards like that when it comes to relationships. Okay, men or women. Now if you like the opposite sex, then write down, okay, this is what man I want to attract, or this is what woman I want to attract. Okay, for each his own out here. Okay, I'm just saying, right? But you can write this down on a piece of paper. This is the kind of man that I want the universe to bring into my life. Okay, somebody like this. So write it down. Okay, this is the kind of man that I don't want the universe to bring into my life. Okay, write that shit down. Okay, and then get out there and meet people. Okay, but when you're meeting people, remember the things that you wrote down. Okay, the things that you will accept. Okay, and then the things that you won't accept. Okay, and then go from there. Okay, and there's no such thing as a perfect person, but one thing I notice about people that wind up being together for a long time is they have patience with each other, they're honest with each other, and they don't fold on each other. What I mean fold is they don't give up on each other. Okay, because every day is not going to be a happy donkey day. Okay, I don't care how much you manifest this good quality man or this good quality woman, every day is not going to be a good day. Okay, and that's just reality. So you have these people out here that talk about manifesting love, and it's like they're in some la la land where love is just this beautiful thing every day, rosy, and we're floating on cloud nine. And that's not the reality of love. Okay, love is unconditional, love is understanding, love is patience, love is kind, love is communication. Okay, communication is a big part of, this is why a lot of people in relationships don't last long, because of communication. And not just that, I feel like it's communication and not being honest with yourself. Okay, so if you go in a relationship and you're not being honest with yourself or honest with that person, they're going to eventually see who you truly are. Okay, and it's not going to wind up lasting. Okay, so you might as well go in there with no false pretense. This is what it is, this is who I am, this is what I do for a living, and this is what it is. Okay, so love is kind, love is patient. And another thing is, I noticed too, in the minority communities, and I'm saying this, men are in competition with their wives, and their wives are in competition with their men. And I never understood that. Okay, why would you be in competition with somebody you love? Okay, so that means you really don't love the person. Okay, if you're in competition with that person, you don't love that person, because you shouldn't be in competition with that person. You should want to make that person a better person. Okay, and by making, not that you should want to, yeah, you should make them a better person, but being honest is how you make somebody a better person. Okay, because then they'll start looking at things in their life and say, darn, maybe she is right, or maybe he is right. I never thought of it this way, from this perspective. Okay, so this is what I wanted to come on. 1919. Love is something that is patient. Love is something that's kind. Love is something that, for me, it's patient, it's kind, it's communication, it's being real. It's not always going to be good, but even when it's not good, see the good in it, right? And a lot of times people don't like to talk about things because they're scared that the other person may get hurt. No, talk about that shit. Okay, talk about it. Okay. That's the part of growing and evolving, you guys. Okay, we're growing and evolving, and we're not accepting breadcrumbs in 2025. Some of you guys have been in relationships maybe for a long time. Comment on my page why, how long you've been in a relationship and what made your relationship last. Okay, I believe me and my ex-husband would still be married today if the communication was there. Okay, and what I mean communication is, I was always a person that communicate. Okay, I even knew when he wasn't having a good day, but he was raised the West Indies ways. Okay, he was from Trinidad and Tobago. Okay, so a lot of those men, like from the Caribbean and African men, they're even black men, Spanish men. I noticed they tend to be more um not really good at communicating, some of them. And I think they feel short in that. And then the reason why I say, I'm not saying all of them, but majority of them, is because they were raised to be these strong men, right? Even watching my dad growing up, my dad was always taught to be this strong man. This strong man. I barely ever see my dad cry. Okay, so, and he didn't have to be in that survival mode where he had to be strong all the time. Okay, because he could be weak too. Okay, just because you have those moments where you just want to like cry and stuff, that don't mean you're weak. That means you're actually strong, because you are showing your emotions. Okay, you are feeling those emotions, and you are, first of all, you're feeling that shit, and you are expressing that shit. Okay, so I feel like with Caribbean men and African men, um especially my ex-husband, we still would have probably been together, if the communication was there. But he was raised up where he was taught, and I don't think it was purposely done. I think it was because of um, him being raised by his mother, and his father being in his life, but not that present, that present masculine in his life. Maybe his life would have been a little bit different, but I think it's a Caribbean thing, where Caribbean men are just like taught to be strong, okay? And that's bullshit, okay? So if you are a black man out here, or and you know yourself, or Hispanic man, or white man, or Chinese man, or indigenous man, a man will handle his business. Okay, a man knows what he wants, right? A man is not stimulated from what's below him, it's up here. Okay, in the head, the mind. Okay, that's where the stimulation begins, and that's where the stimulation ends. Okay, all right, you guys, tell me your thoughts on this. Some of you guys that have been in relationships for a very long time, I really believe that we would have still been together if his communication was better. Okay, but he's still at that place where he's not vulnerable. Okay, and I think that you have to be vulnerable, to a point, to be when you're your true self, because we all have that vulnerability. And I feel like maybe he thought like if he's vulnerable that I would use that against him, but I was never that type of person, that vindictive, vicious person that would use that vulnerability to be like, oh, you're weak, or you're this, or you're that. I'm not that type of person. Okay, so you have to be a little bit vulnerable, though. You really do. And I feel like a lot of men lack that. Caribbean men, African men, black men, they lack that vulnerability. And it's okay to have that. Being even in indigenous men, I don't know. I only dated, I only married a Caribbean man. Okay, so, and everybody has their preference. Okay, but I think there has to be some vulnerability there. Okay, a healthy vulnerability. Okay, not a codependent vulnerability. Okay, that's just my thoughts. Okay, so you guys can comment below your thoughts. If you've been in a relationship for a long time, comment why it lasted so long. You can put just one word, maybe communication, maybe honesty, maybe consistency, maybe patience, maybe wisdom, maybe healing, whatever you want to put. Okay, comment below. Okay, your thoughts. A lot of times we develop codependency traits and we don't realize it because behavior is learned. Behavior is learned. Okay, behavior is learned. When I tell you behavior is learned, it is learned. Okay, so comment you guys' thoughts down below of what love looks like to you. Okay, also get a piece of paper and write down the qualities that you're looking for in a man, and then also the qualities that you're not looking for in a man. okay? And write it on a piece of paper, okay? And also not just write it, speak it to the universe, because the universe is always listening, okay? And be patient. Don't rush. A lot of people rush in a relationship because they just want to be loved. Love is not a word. Love is not a verb. Love is an action. Okay, I don't know how many times I gotta tell you this. Love is an action. Just like you love your children, that is an action. Okay, that is the same thing with a man and the same thing with a woman. It's an action. Okay, so comment below you guys' thoughts on love. And also, I noticed when you do heal, here we go with the music. This is why these men are so low vibrational. The music they listen to, okay? If you're not listening to blues, jazz, like music that has you in another state of consciousness, I can't, okay? I just can't. And this rap music has you dimmed down, okay? Dim down here, okay? And that's what's wrong with these men too, okay? So the music you're listening to. So tell me the qualities. Also, some people like people that like to work out every day, okay? So that's some things people like. So if you like a girl that works out, right? I like somebody that works out. Some people don't care if they work out or not, okay? But hey, to each his own, okay? So comment below one thing, just one thing that makes for a healthy relationship. And if you've been in a relationship for a very long time, write down what has sustained that relationship, okay? All right, you guys, this is Jennifer Felix readings. Thank you guys for coming on. Remember, a lot of times we learn behavior, so we have to unlearn it, okay? When I was studying behavior, I learned a lot about myself, okay? And things that I needed to work on for myself. And it helped me in so much areas in my life, as far as with my children and my relationships. And also what helped me is knowing myself, living in my truth, speaking my truth, and not wavering in my truths, okay? But willing to grow and willing to learn, okay? Because we're always learning, we're always growing, and we're always evolving, okay? All right, you guys, this is Jennifer Felix reading. Love you guys. Bye.